Ladies and gentlemen, what we have learnt in this morning thread this morning, that leadership is also driven by people with deep humility, with a deep sense of ethics, with a deep understanding of the needs of people, their stakeholders, their staff, their family themselves, and they also need a fairly healthy degree of wisdom. And as we segue into our first panel discussion this morning, someone who has that in abundance, ladies and gentlemen, is Judge Essa Moosa, who's now going to address us. So I think Tumela's got nicer shoes than you've got. Nice to meet you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I have to take my glasses off to read. Others put the glasses on to read. I don't know what the purpose is to take the glasses off or to take the glasses on. Soon after the CEO of Old Mutual made his presentation this morning, I asked him, "How old are you?" He said, "Well, he's 43. And I was thinking that I'll be 80 next year, and I'm almost double his age. And you will agree with me that he looks much older than me." But be that as it may, as a point of departure on the topic I am going to speak on, and that is the Office of the Judge for the Complaints Unit of the Hawks. Now, as a point of departure, it is perhaps appropriate for me at this leadership convention to quote a constitutional principle from our democratic constitution, which, amongst others, govern national security. And I quote, "National security must reflect the resolve of South Africans as individuals and as a nation to live as equals, to live in peace and harmony, to be free from fear, and want to seek a better life." Close quotations. The resolve of all South Africans, whether black or white, embraces the vision of a new democratic South Africa. Let us all, as individuals and as leaders of South Africa, commit ourselves to achieve that vision for our country. With that inspirational background, I return to the topic of my presentation. On the 8th of February 2011, I had retired as a judge after serving on the bench of the High Court of South Africa for almost 14 years. I had previously practiced as a human rights lawyer in Cape Town for more than 30 years. In 1996, I did a short stint as a consultant heading what was called the planning unit within the Department of Justice. The function of the unit was to align the law and the existing structures then of governance to the new, with the values enshrined in the new democratic constitution, and also give life to the new structures supporting constitutional democracy, such as the Public Protector, Human Rights Commission, the Commission for the Promotion and Protection of the Rights of Cultural, Religious, and Linguistic Communities. We produced a policy document for the Department of Justice then called Vision 2000. About 2 years after my retirement from the bench, I was at home taking it easy and working on my biography when I was approached by the previous incumbent of the Ministry of Justice, namely Minister Nati Mathetwa, he asked me to make myself available to head the Office of the Judge for the DPCI Complaints Unit. Now, the DPCI is the Directorate of Priority Crime Investigation, or more commonly known as the Hawks. The Hawks investigate serious crimes such as commercial crimes, organized crimes, cross-border crimes, corruption, etc. After a lot of soul-searching, I reluctantly agreed. To me, it was a new challenge. During my lifetime, I faced many challenges, but with commitment, dedication, and passion, I overcame those challenges. I told myself, let this be the final challenge in my long career in the service of the people, and let the final legacy resonate in a crime and corruption-free society. Many of you will recall the controversy that raged when moves were made by government to close down the Scorpions, which resorted under the National Directorate of Public Prosecution, and transfer its function to the South African Police Services. In terms of the Constitution, the power and function to investigate crime vested in the South African Police, whereas the power and the function of the NDPP, that's the prosecutorial authority, is to institute criminal proceedings on behalf of the state. In order to bring about these structural changes, the necessary legislation were amended. A businessman by the name of Hugh Glenister challenged the constitutionality of the new regime, namely the DPCI, more commonly known as the Hawks. The Constitutional Court, in a majority judgment, found that vesting the DPC regime within the jurisdiction of the South African Police Services was not unconstitutional, but found that the DPCI regime, in terms of the amended legislation, did not enjoy sufficient independence. In that respect, the court found the law wanting. The court referred the matter back to Parliament to make the necessary changes to close the Hawks with the appropriate independence. After Parliament had once more amended the legislation, it was once more challenged. This time, the Helen Suzman Foundation joined the fray. When the matter reached the Constitutional Court, it decided to expunge the offending sections of the law instead of referring the matter back to Parliament to bring about the necessary amendments. The court found that the offending sections did not go far enough to secure the independence of the Hawks. In order to safeguard the independence of the Hawks, an oversight body was created, which is known as the Office of the Judge for the DPC Complaints Unit. The Office of the Judge is required to be headed by a retired judge. The Minister of Police, after consultation with the Minister of Justice and Chief Justice, makes a recommendation to the President, who then approves the secondment of the retired judge from the judiciary to head the Office of the Judge for the DPCI Complaints Unit. Now, the function of the Office of the Judge is to investigate complaints against and from members of the Hawks, and they are as follows. Category 1 complaints are complaints from members of the public who can provide evidence of a serious and unlawful infringement of his or her rights caused by an investigation conducted by the Hawks. And Category 2 complaints are complaints from members of the Hawks who can provide evidence of any improper influence or interference, whether of a political or any other nature, exerted upon him or her regarding the investigation conducted by the Hawks. The head of the Hawks may also request the Office of the Judge to investigate complaints or allegations relating to investigations by the Hawks or alleged interference with such investigation. Now, we have established 2 offices. The one is located in Cape Town, where I am based, and the second is based in Pretoria, where the investigation of the Office of the Judge, investigators of the Office of the Judge are based. In terms of the law, we are required, in consultation with the Secretariat, to embark on an awareness campaign of the Office of the Judge, amongst others, the public and members of the Hawks. And I'm at this stage taking advantage of this get-together in order to create awareness of the existence of the Office of the Judge. With that brief backdrop, I want to take this opportunity to appeal to the private sector, and in this regard particularly to business, to work and cooperate with the Office of the Judge DPCI Complaints Unit to fight crime and corruption. They are eroding the moral fiber, that is crime and corruption, of our society, undermining our economy, and depriving our society of resources to provide for the poor, the disadvantaged, and the deprived of basic needs for human existence. They are the socio-economic rights such as food, water, shelter, basic health care, basic education, and social security, which are constitutionally guaranteed. In conclusion, let us all remember that where there is no criminal, there is no crime. Where there is no briber, there is no bribery. And where there is no corrupter, there is no corruption. Just with regard to the theme of this particular conference, I think what no one has yet mentioned is the question of leadership delegating his functions and duties to subordinates. And it is quite important, and this is the lesson that I want to leave with you people, that when you delegate as a leader, you need to make the person to whom you delegate those functions and duties is to make them feel empowered. In other words, they feel empowered because you are delegating their duties, your duties to them. If they feel empowered, they'll, I think, accept those delegation with passion, with dedication, and with commitment. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Judge Moosa, I sincerely hope that when I'm closing in on 80, sir, I have your insight, your health, and your vigor as well. Thank you very much indeed. As a practicing current affairs person, sir, there are so many questions right now I have to ask you about the Hawks, but this is not the forum. Perhaps we could talk at lunch.